extremism. The Prime Minister has called radicalization in the region a major threat which the global community needs to fight together. He has also slammed Pakistan without naming them, while also speaking about recent events in Afghanistan and how it shows radicalization is increasing across the world. China was the obvious reference when he spoke about respecting each other's territorial integrity, given the fact that the standoff between India and China at the LAC has now gone on for over a year.
मेरा मानना है कि इस क्षेत्र में सबसे बड़ी चुनौतियां शांति, सुरक्षा और ट्रस्ट डेफिसिट से संबंधित है और इन समस्याओं का मूल कारण बढ़ता हुआ रेडिकलाइजेशन है। अफगानिस्तान में हाल के घटनाक्रम ने इस चुनौती को और स्पष्ट कर दिया है और एससीओ के लगभग सभी देशों में इस्लाम से जुड़ी मॉडरेट, टॉलरेंट और इंक्लूसिव संस्थाएं और परंपराएं हैं। एससीओ को इनके बीच एक मजबूत नेटवर्क विकसित करने के लिए काम करना चाहिए। रेडिकलाइजेशन से लड़ाई क्षेत्रीय सुरक्षा और आपसी ट्रस्ट के लिए तो आवश्यक है ही। यह हमारी युवा पीढ़ियों के उज्जवल भविष्य के लिए भी जरूरी है।
How's the world reading Prime Minister Narendra Modi's statement? Let's get in a quick view. Ambassador Vishnu Prakash will be joining us in just a minute. He is a former diplomat. For the moment, we have Lieutenant General KJ Singh. He's a former General Officer Commanding-in-Chief of the Western Command. General Singh, thank you very much for your time here on CNN News 18. A 6-minute address. He doesn't name the Taliban. He doesn't name China. He doesn't name Pakistan. But Prime Minister Modi conveys India's stand very well. What do you make of the speech?
PM Modi on 20th anniversary of this very relevant and now increasingly important regional organization has flagged the crucial issues. He has brought out the need for a theological corrective within Islam with a view to discover moderate strands of Islam. He has emphasized aspects of Sufism. He has highlighted that Central Asia has been a nursery of moderate Islam and inclusive Islam. So it is without naming Afghanistan, but this year Iran has also joined as a full member. And other relevant members of OIC like Saudi Arabia, Qatar and Egypt have joined as dialogue partners. So he has really emphasized the critical issue that needs to be deliberated within OIC, within SCO, and it is like drawing a red line for the emerging Taliban regime, that if they carry on this path, they are not going to find recognition anywhere. So it's a very nice message, nuanced, and very well sort of delivered.
All right. We also have Arunima joining us live on the broadcast, Ambassador Vishnu Prakash with us as well. Ambassador Vishnu Prakash, before I ask you any question, I want your views on the Prime Minister's short 6-minute virtual address. As I was saying, he hasn't named Taliban, despite the fact that this meeting largely is about Afghanistan after the Taliban takeover. He's not named Pakistan, he's not named China, but he has conveyed multiple nuanced messages.
Well, greetings and nice to be back on the show with you, Shreya. Prime Minister generally does not name any country. And if you see, usually leaders do not name countries, they just allude to that, the countries. Why they do that, don't ask me. But, he has conveyed the message that needs to be conveyed. The problem is that not that the message is not heard. The problem is that the message is not implemented. And there is no interest in seeing the reality. Everybody is in denial. Everybody has his own agenda. And that is the whole problem, not just with SCO, with other organizations also, because there is double speak, not double speak. There is something is said and something is done. There is no correlation between the two.
Arunima, would you want to come in here? Ambassador Vishnu Prakash is making a pertinent point and a realistic point where he says that every organization comes with its own set of agendas, and while the Prime Minister has conveyed the message that needed to be conveyed, and people around the world are listening to it very closely, whether it gets implemented or not is an entirely different issue altogether, given the dynamics involved.
Also say it has already found some resonance. What is the Prime Minister talking about? He's talking about allowing moderate voices, allowing inclusive voices, not allowing radicalization to completely hijack this area. And listen to what China has said soon after. We need to encourage Afghanistan to put in place a broad-based and inclusive political framework, adopt moderate domestic and foreign policies, resolutely fight all forms of terrorism, live in amity with neighbors. Now, whether these are only the right noises that China is making, or is it actually going to weigh down upon Pakistan? Because I don't think anybody has any doubt, if terrorism flourished in Afghanistan, Rawalpindi had a huge role to play. So now that China is also saying that Afghanistan government must be inclusive, there should be no scope for terrorism there is a section of security analysts who believe that China is that insurance which could prevent another rise of Osama bin Laden, which could prevent another 9/11. The problem is the West only reacts when a 9/11 happens. India has been suffering the scourge of terrorism for years, for decades before that, and it took a 9/11 and an Osama for the world to realize what India was screaming from the rooftop. Now we'll have to just wait and see whether China actually prevents Pakistan from turning Afghanistan into what it was 2 decades ago. But at least what the Prime Minister said is finding resonance already at the SCO.
Ambassador Vishnu Prakash, I know you want to come in on the point of China and the statement that Chinese President Xi Jinping has made. I'm going to come to you in just a bit, but first let me put that entire statement for our viewers. Chinese President Xi Jinping, who spoke a little after Prime Minister Modi at the SCO summit, has batted for the Taliban regime in Afghanistan and stopped just short of asking for recognition for the new Afghan government. Xi said, I'm quoting him now, "We need to encourage Afghanistan to put in place a broad-based and inclusive political framework, adopt moderate domestic and foreign policies, resolutely form all forms of terrorism, and live in amity with neighbors." Ambassador Vishnu Prakash, is this China in a couched, nice way asking the world to give the Taliban a chance and recognize the government there?
Well, and absolutely, totally, I would agree with that. China has never had any difficulty in speaking in general terms. Inclusive, broad-based, against terrorism, etc. We have heard them so many times. The devil lies in the detail. The devil lies in the definition. What is China's definition of inclusive? What is China's definition of broad-based? Even on terrorism, which is one of the focal points of SCO, we have always had the right noises being made, but when it comes to implementation, we all know how Masood Azhar was not allowed to be declared an international terrorist for 10 years. So that is the whole different problem. In general terms, yes, specific terms, it's back to square one. It is back to what suits a certain country.
Also, Ambassador Vishnu Prakash, fact is right now, the Russian embassy functioning very well in Kabul, so is the Chinese embassy, so is the Pakistani embassy. Do you see in the coming months that these three countries perhaps will be the first to recognize the Taliban government, which possibly will put other countries, including India, under pressure as well? And what options does India really have? Yes, the last Taliban regime was not recognized by India, but can we afford not to do business with the Taliban? We've already made some overtures which haven't gotten very far.
I don't think that it's a matter of months, Shreya. I think it's a matter of weeks. I would have till few days ago said it's a matter of days, but it is a matter of weeks. Already noises are being made. There will be some token moves on the part of Pakistan and the Haqqani group. Some more people will be inducted